Hello, everybody. This is Football Psych, and I am Coach Mike.
It's one side!
And it's good old Shaq.
And welcome, everybody, to the January 12th, 2026 Football Psych episode where, man, I'm telling you, the drama in Washington, it's year-round. It's absolutely year-round. They just cannot help but give us material to talk about. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. That's how great they are. Like, if I can think of like the worst decisions that this team could possibly make, I still will not come close to how bad the decisions that they actually do make. So we have decided, as the football psych enterprise that we are going to do something new for 2026, and that is write down and start annotating every single bad decision that they make. And as soon as we decided to make that, they already gave us material to go with the hiring of an assistant quarterback coach, David Blough, as our new offensive coordinator. That's it, everybody. Like, you guys probably already heard this new flip. Talk to me, Lord Sarge. What is this all about?
They took the third string quarterback from the Detroit Lions, who couldn't make it as a third string quarterback, who bounced around as third string quarterbacks, and then landed under a couple different systems as assistant quarterbacks coaches, and wound up on our team as a quarterbacks assistant, and then got promoted to assistant offensive coordinator last year, named David Blough. Everyone can look up David Blough, and we lovingly are renaming him Mr. Blough Movement. He's the Blough Movement. We're lovingly renaming him that because he's a nice young kid. He's a nice man. I'm sorry, David. I'm so sorry, but your name is Blough Movement, and it's not your fault because they're putting you in a position to fail. We don't hate you, but your name is forever on this channel called the Blough Movement. Folks, you can take that how you want to. We are not crude on this channel.
Hey, well, I do know this. Hey, I'm gonna say no to Blough. David Blough. Let me tell you something right now, man. This guy did not have a decent NFL career. He was mediocre in college. Only thing he's going to do is going to implement Kingsbury's offense. That's it. That's all he's going to do. He's going to come back in here. He's going to implement all the options out here in the world, and we chose to hire within. Man, so many valuable options was out there that we should. The day Mike McDaniels got fired, he should have been the first thing spoken in DC, right? But we want to hire within. Yes, he's younger, but we don't know nothing about him. Zero. Nothing about him. He's not proving anything. Listen, and this was Dan Quinn's move. When I say I hate the Dan Quinn hire, the further we get into his tenure in DC, y'all understand why I hated the Dan Quinn hire. This was his choice. This wasn't Adam Peters' choice. It was Dan Quinn's choice. Man, look, he got to go. Dan Quinn got to go.
Well, don't worry, it won't take long. He will be gone before we know it. And I'm going to tell you, but I do want to take a moment to kind of go into, because I didn't know a lot about Blough. So I'm just like, let me give this guy, let me see what this guy's really, really all about. All right.
You should pull some of his highlights.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, he did play college football at Purdue University. He was redshirted his freshman year. He did have opportunities to play. He worked himself up with the good old Boilermakers all the way up until 2018, where he got his opportunity to start. And by the third game of that season against Missouri, he went on when he took over the team. He took over. They were 0-2, and then they started winning, right? He made it all the way to the East-West Shrine Bowl, where he went 10 for 15, 2 touchdowns for 149 yards. Even with his great senior year, when it came to the 2019 NFL draft, the dude was not even considered.
Nope.
Like, he was not even considered. Like, he wasn't in anybody's conversation. So what happened was the Cleveland Browns heard about him. They're like, we'll sign him as an undrafted free agent. We'll throw him into camp. We'll see. Right? So what happened was they brought him in. They kind of tried him out. By the end of that summer in August, he was involved in a trade with the Detroit Lions where basically the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions were really only trying to swap 7th-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But they kind of threw Blough in there like, hey, why don't you just take him too? And the Lions were like, yeah, whatever. Yep. But interesting thing that happened on November 27th, Matthew Stafford got injured. And so did backup quarterback Jeff Driscoll.
Yep.
And Blough got his opportunity to start on Thanksgiving against the Chicago Bears. And let's just say his entire tenure with the Detroit Lions, he started 7 games, and he went a whopping 0-7. That's right. I do anything I want to.
So look, Coach, this is my thing right here. So with guys that had subpar college careers, guys that have performed at a professional level like this, it makes me wonder, how do they even get in these rooms to be coaches? How do they even get in these rooms?
Let's figure it out.
Because
what happened next is he gets waived by the Lions and then signed to the practice squad the next day, activated later on in the year for a game, right? Yep. It's like this stuff is like not even like you can't even take any of this stuff serious, right? The following year, he gets re-signed by the Lions. He kind of makes the 53-man roster, but then the Lions completely change their mind, like, no, we're cutting you because we got to make room for Nate Sudfeld.
Yep.
Right? So then what happens is the Vikings decide to sign Blough, but to their practice squad. Right? And then what happens is by December, the Arizona Cardinals came calling. That's where Cliff Kingsbury comes in.
Yeah.
They look at the Vikings practice squad and say, I need a quarterback. I want that guy. I don't know what he based that decision on, but that's Cliff Kingsbury. Can we say anything more than that?
Yeah.
So he pulls him in and says, I want you to start week 17 against the Atlanta Falcons after Colt McCoy experienced concussion symptoms. So he played that final game. Of course, they lost.
Yeah, but I would rather have Colt McCoy in our quarterback room than
by far
Blough.
But he came in and took over for Colt McCoy when he got a concussion.
Yeah.
So his claim to fame in his entire Arizona career was he did a flea flicker to AJ Green for a 77-yard touchdown. That's all he ever did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets cut. I want you to hear how recent this was. All right. This was August 29th of 2023. By 2 days later, the Lions decide, I want to sign him back to our practice squad. So he returns to the Lions in August 31st of 2023. By the end of that, I'm talking about by February, guess what happens? Blough gets hired as an assistant quarterbacks coach by Cliff Kingsbury to say, I kind of like what you were doing with us on the practice squad. I'd like for you to come and help out our quarterbacks room because we got this quarterback called Jaden Daniels where we think you and all your great, wonderful experience might actually help Jaden Daniels out.
Man, listen, I never understood the whole quarterback room. Tavita Pritchard wasn't a good quarterback. Blough got to go. I know to Blough, Bow, whatever his name is, he wasn't a good quarterback. So I don't even think, how did they figure these dudes was going to help Jaden Daniels out?
But that's a good point. Like, who did he work for?
Yeah.
Blough worked for Tavita Pritchard.
Yep.
Tavita Pritchard was the quarterback's coach. He was the assistant to him.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
This was 2024. He goes to last year, takes credit for like some miraculous development of Jaden Daniels that he nor Pritchard could ever do themselves.
Well, no.
His coattails.
There was a steady digression. Even before Jaden Daniels got hurt this second season, there was digression in his play. So
But
what was he really learning? Yeah, that was
look,
what was
if
he
you
really
look at
learning?
their resume, they both on their resume take credit for Jaden Daniels becoming the Associated Press Offensive Rookie of the Year. So they're brought back again this year.
Yep.
Richard.
And Pritchard is the head coach for Stanford now. So it really.
Well, let me get there because this stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
So they start off the year last year, and they say Pritchard, you're still a quarterbacks coach. They look at this young man, and he was actually looked at by other organizations. Like the New York Jets requested to interview him as a quarterbacks coach for them. The Commanders actually denied the Jets' request last year and said, no, we want to hold on to this guy. We're denying your request to even interview him. Because Aaron Glenn had taken over a coach and wanted to request him to come in as quarterbacks coach. Like, there's something going on with this dude.
Familiarity.
Well, now, so look, this is the thing. When they was talking about bringing him in, they said people last year at the draft, he was out there at the draft, and they said everybody was speaking highly of him, praising his name for the things he's doing with the Commanders organization and how he's been a professional all over the NFL. So these are the things that people see, and they're like, okay, he can kind of come in and help our organization, but come in as an offensive coordinator, I think not, sir.
So then on January 10th, Blough was promoted to the offensive coordinator role. And you're right. This happened after Trevita Pritchard was hired as the head coach of the Stanford Cardinals. Now, this really boiled down to the situation where the Detroit Lions, once again, were in this picture because they requested to interview them for his head coaching job. In the midst of him being requested for that, the Chicago Bears heard about that and go, well, we probably want to interview him too. And because the Commanders panicked, which I think was a panic of losing something that they thought was so valuable, they were like, nope, we're going to hire him as our offensive coordinator. That's craziness to me.
I'm going to tell you right now, all of the offensive masterminds that we could have used in our locker room, offensive masterminds, because I'm telling you right now, I told you this, in one way or the other, we got to figure out a way to get Harbaugh in our building. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Dan Quinn going to be gone by game 4 next year. Mark my words, I say game 6, but after this hire right here, when it was all Dan Quinn's fault, Dan Quinn going to be gone by game 4 next year. So we need to figure out a way to get John Harbaugh, John in some way, somehow, some capacity in our locker room. Because we're going to need him as a head coach soon.
The best way to do is bring him in as an assistant head coach and player personnel.
Yeah.
So let me give you some inside scoop, gentlemen. You're not going to hear this anywhere else. This I'm going to tell you what happened. Everyone sees Jaden Daniels as our future. Everyone sees Jaden Daniels as our future. And when Dan Quinn decided to pull the trigger on the offensive coordinator, which I actually agree with, he needed a clean house. I actually agree with that decision. Smart thing he did, right? Behind the scenes, and it caught fire on the news here, was Jaden Daniels' mom getting on the radio saying, "What are you doing? Oh my God, my son needs his coach. He loves," for whatever reason, Jaden Daniels loved Cliff Kingsbury. Jaden Daniels put out a statement that he was not happy. He was very uncomfortable. So I'm going to tell you what drove this. I'm going to tell you point blank what drove this. Behind the scenes, Jaden Daniels took his fishing pole, stuck a hook in Dan Quinn's nose like this and said, I'm not happy, and I don't want to change my system, and I want to have somebody with a system I'm familiar with, and I know I was injured, but I'm your star, and I want to have a system that I'm familiar with, and that guy looks pretty good, he's cool, I like that system. And they went with the guy that has familiarity with Jaden. They bent the knee. Dan Quinn bent the knee to the 2-year kid that we don't even know, and I'm going to predict is a bust on our franchise quarterback. That's what's actually happened. And then you stack what Coach Mad Mike said, the other team saying, this guy's for a 30-year-old guy who's actually got some play calling skills, and they're referring back to bowel movement having the play call last year where it was his play that he designed that caused a touchdown. You guys can look it up, but it was a fourth down. It was his actual play call to Crowder in the end zone. And they're like, that was his play call, his design that he brought from college up. And they're like, this guy's actually really smart, to Shaq's point. He's actually got a good offensive mind for play calling. He's just not been tested. He's never been. That is a big.
Let's go with this for
He didn't teach Jaden Daniels a slide. He didn't teach Jaden Daniels how to throw the ball away. He was not a good quarterbacks coach.
No. So look, this is my thing right here, right? And to touch on your point, right? We got Anthony Lynn on our roster as a coach. The dude has way more experience than David Blough does. Why did we bump Anthony Lynn up to the OC? Let's think about this.
I got another one for you. I'm going to share with you in a second. You guys ready for it?
Yeah.
Let's go into it right now. This guy, Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson. This is another one.
So Brian Johnson apparently is upset right now. So Brian Johnson was the assistant head coach. He's also was the offensive pass coordinator and worked with Jaden Daniels and everything. And when this whole thing went down, he's actually the senior one on the team. Again, Blough was an assistant quarterbacks coach. The assistant head coach and the actual offensive pass game coordinator, the one that actually coordinates everything for Jaden Daniels and everything, the guy who's senior, who's the guy who's been around, is Brian Johnson.
That's right.
Was not even considered or interviewed.
There's
there's a chance that he's not even going to come back.
That's right. We just named 2 people more qualified than 2.
Right. And so right now, the buzz that I'm hearing that's going on there right now is Brian Johnson's going to be looking at leaving. There's a lot of people on this team that are throwing their hands up and they're just like, I'm out. And like, offensive coordinators bringing their own staff. I hope he knows people because he's going to probably need to bring in his own staff.
He doesn't know. He's not senior enough to know anyone.
He going to go get some of his old Purdue team.
Yeah, because that's like who around the NFL is going to be like, want to be part of Blough's offensive coordinating staff?
Yep. And I'm talking about, and we had Brian Johnson, and we got a qualified Anthony Lynn. A qualified Anthony Lynn. There's been a head coach in the NFL already. There's been offensive coordinators in the NFL already. We have a qualified Anthony Lynn on this roster.
Well, I want to tell you more about Brian Johnson because I like to give a quick case about Brian Johnson, right? Because he didn't work closely with Jaden Daniels because he uses the same thing on his record. Like everybody goes on Jaden Daniels' coattails, like, hey, I was part of him becoming the Associated Press Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is everybody probably had a small part, but Jaden Daniels earned that award.
He did.
Right? Let's just be real.
Yeah, he did the work. He earned the award.
Right?
Yes.
So, but here's why I think Johnson would have been a better option, right? Because prior to him becoming the assistant head coach and the offensive play game coordinator, he was the offensive coordinator in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
He also, prior to that, he was also the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at the University of Houston. Prior to that, he worked at his alma mater in Utah as a quarterbacks coach. He was promoted to offensive coordinator. So this guy's been an offensive coordinator at 3 different times. He was one at Utah. He was one at the University of Houston. And then he turned around and he even worked at the University of Florida for a little bit as a quarterbacks coach before he became the offensive coordinator at the Philadelphia Eagles and then came here. This guy has been taking the necessary steps to become the offensive coordinator here in Washington.
Hey, Coach Van Mike, now I'm going to tell you this. With him leaving, with this resume you just ran off, with him leaving, let's not be. I won't be surprised if these in that head coaching cycle for college football this upcoming season because of the resume you just ran off of.
That's right.
So I mean, we might lose him
Or
to a head coaching job in college
or offensive coordinator for a team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the resume.
Yep.
And we had this guy has. And you know what this reminds me of? I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of Tim McVay. Tim McVay was our offensive coordinator in-house, but we decided to go out and hire a coach to come in, to become the head coach of the Washington Redskins at the time. And Sean McVay left and became the coach of the Rams.
Yep. I would have loved
because we don't
him as the
take
head
care
coach.
of our talent in-house. Guess where our talent in-house goes? They go somewhere else.
Dude, look at the Shanahan coaching tree. Look at how they're flourishing all over the league right now. You know what I'm saying? LaFleur, you know what I'm saying? Old buddy up in Minnesota, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. Look at the Shanahan tree. And look how they all these offensive masterminds we had on the roster at the same time.
At the same time.
I
always said that when the Shanahans were out, it should have been McVay that we hired. Instead, McVay goes to the Rams, and the rest is history. The dude's been amazing ever since.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl. Look at, he's been doing absolutely great things with the Rams, right?
They favored to win it this year.
That's right. So and we've been in the toilet.
Yep. Come on, man.
But we turned around and we went through all the garbage that we went through, the freaking Rivera movement and all that kind of crap, which was another bowel movement I had to go through.
Yeah. Now I do agree with this. Brian Johnson. He's way more qualified. That's what we named two guys who were better. You cannot go wrong with you have a head coach.
Why?
You have a. I'm talking about Brian Johnson. All this, he has all of these skills.
How
you
do
got
everything. Bowel movement over this guy. How?
Man, listen, I don't know. Man, Dan Quinn got to go. This was Dan Quinn's choice. Dan Quinn gonna live with it. Dan Quinn need to go. I'm telling you, I never liked the hire. I hated the hire. I've been saying this since we brought him in. I hated this hire, and y'all seeing why. I hated this hire.
Let me go back to comments here, support you, because I think it was Shay that typed up and said Dan Quinn ain't going to make it past week 5.
Yeah, he not.
Or Shay said that earlier.
Yeah.
So my question is why not get rid of him now?
Well, I'll tell you what.
You don't have to fire somebody on just Black Monday, right?
Nope.
Like you could be like, and you don't have to wait till week 5 to fire somebody. So for me, when I'm over there and I see a guy like John Harbaugh out on the market, I'm telling you right now, I'd be like, yeah, I think we just need to go a whole new different direction.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you why that's not going to happen, guys.
I know it's not going to happen.
No.
Because Adam Peters had an interview. And Adam Peters got up on the mic and said, they asked him point blank because people are asking questions about this decision. And Adam Peters point blank said, Dan Quinn makes all coaching decisions, and I fully support it. I don't make coaching decisions.
Wow.
That is my
That's a huge statement. And maybe he does that to protect himself.
This is Dan Quinn's team for all coaching decisions. I am not involved. And I went,
hey, it makes you safe. So let me tell you why that makes you safe as a general manager, right? Because if you're in with the front head shop and you're building a team for the long term, you hire your head coach, and if you put all the decisions on him when it all goes south, it's all on him. You can sit back as the general manager and say, I will fire him and bring another guy in. Mm-hmm. And you're never really held responsible for anything if all those decisions are on your coach. You get to hire and fire coaches when they screw it up, right? And you always maintain job security that way. So it's probably a good thing. But I'm going to do something that Shay is on there that says, right, that John Harbaugh is interviewing with the Falcons. I knew that was coming because I told Lard Sargent that a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, I see John Harbaugh probably ending up in the Falcons.
Yeah.
Other people are tying him to the Giants. I don't know. If I was in John Harbaugh's situation looking at it, to me, the most attractive team out there personally, where I could see John Harbaugh actually go, would be the Falcons. So to hear him interviewing for them, man, he might not get out of that building. I'm just saying.
There are 2 other teams they're attracted to, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Arizona Cardinals, because the Arizona Cardinals have a nice young core out there, right? Now, besides the Falcons, but the Arizona Cardinals are attractive, and then the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins have a nice young core down there. They don't have no coach. They need Harbaugh kind of. They have the talent, but they don't have. They need Harbaugh kind of discipline down there. They wouldn't get that from Mike McDaniel.
If I was to advise John Harbaugh, I would tell him this. All right. Here's the reason why I like the situation in Atlanta the best. All right. And I'm just going to throw a couple different reasons why. Number one, they restructured Kirk Cousins' contract and he's set to be cut by March 13th. That is going to free up significant salary cap for them where they can rebuild that team and go after what they want. Plus, they're in an easy division, right? If you want to put your own mark on a team, have salary cap to build it how you want, and probably find success pretty early.
Yep.
There's only 2 teams that could possibly do that, in my eyes. It's the Atlanta Falcons because they're in a weak division, and it's the Ravens who, they were the ones that fired you. So you're not going back there. So it just makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if they're going to hire him. This isn't not me making any kind of official news statement or nothing like that. I'm just saying, to me, if I was in John Harbaugh's things, the Atlanta Falcons look awful attractive.
Now, there's a ton of investment from the owner of Miami Dolphins with the Harbaugh family in Michigan University.
Oh, I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of history with the family there.
Florida tax-free state.
Yeah, but the owner of Miami is heavily invested and has a long history with the Harbaughs.
That's right,
and with Michigan State, which makes it very attractive. That's why the rumors are out, it's kind of there, but it all depends on him, right? It all depends.
Well, let me talk about that for a second.
And me and Mike talked a lot about how good Atlanta is for a prospect, for a new coach, a good coach to come in and take that team. You're going to own the division.
Yeah, I don't think they gave Raheem Morris enough.
But can I talk about the Dolphins for a second? Because I do find it interesting because when Mike McDaniels was there, they told that guy before John Harbaugh was released, they told Mike McDaniels, your job is safe for 2026.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you do hear about Harbaugh getting fired, and it wasn't but 48 hours after that, all of a sudden, just mysteriously,
he's gone.
Mike McDaniels gets fired. And you're just like, wait a minute, I thought his job was safe for 2026. So Lawrence Sarge might have a very, very valid point. They might have been like,
deal. Sounds like
Daniels, get out of here because we're going on the Harbaugh camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, and the team is young, attractive. They're going to get a healthy Tyreek Hill back next year. Their ground game is one of the best in the league. Offensive line is decent. Defense needs improvements, and they need to get a little bit younger. But Miami's a very, very attractive team for a coach like Harbaugh. I'm telling you.
Well, he's got to watch out with Tyreek Hill, man. You need to tell him to slow down in his Lamborghini and stop arguing with cops.
There are so many rumors and stuff going on, but back to us. I think this whole deal with bowel movement was Jaden Daniels. And what really tweaks my grits on this
is that
a 2-year, he's unproven. Jaden Daniels is not this franchise's quarterback. I'm sorry to say it. He's not.
No, man, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to Jaden Daniels.
The first year and tank so hard the second year and say he's a lock for the franchise quarterback. You can't. You're going to be the slumps,
man.
That's sophomore slumps. Every quarterback goes through that. Brady went through it. Aaron Rodgers went through it.
Right? And now we're going to change your OC. We're going to see, right? We're going to see. The proof's in the pudding, right? Yeah. So, but you're going to let the 2-year guy drive your OC decision?
And I'm going to tell you this right now.
What?
I'm going to tell you this right now. Looking at college football right now, we're not going to get a Jaden Daniels caliber quarterback in these next 3 drafts. Simply put, so we better stay where we at and develop it.
Yeah, we will, because we're going to lose. How many games do you think we're going to win this year?
Next year, probably like 7.
5?
I was right this year.
We're going to be drafting one of those quarterbacks in about 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Talk to me real, Shaq. What are we going to do worse this coming year based on that choice?
Well,
Or better?
so no. We're not gonna do that. That is the Dan Quinn decline I've been talking about. I said this when we brought Dan Quinn in.
It's
the Dan Quinn decline. He has that one good season that every year after that he tanks. Defensive coordinator, that one good season. Next thing you know, Green Bay putting up 40+ points on them in the playoffs. Like, come on, man. It's the Dan Quinn decline. He is not he's not a good coach.
Let me go over a couple more things, and then we got to move on. We've got a lot to cover on this show, and I know we got a lot of stuff to do. It's very easy to be stuck on this topic for a while, but we got to move on. But yeah. Here's my concern for the Washington Commanders right now, right? The Blough thing's done.
Yep.
It took an extra 24 hours for me to convince Lard Sars to stop looking at coordinators because he was still looking at people all over the league. And I had to remind him, we've already hired an offensive coordinator. He was just living in the now for about 24 hours, right? And so, like, we have an offensive coordinator, whether we like him or not, is David Blough. So here's my concern about that, though, right? We don't have a defensive coordinator right now.
Nope.
I think it's going to be extraordinarily hard to convince a defensive coordinator to come to this team after they know that the person who's managing the offense and is supposed to sustain drives on the other side might put them in bad situations to tire out their defense. Right.
Yep.
I would tell you that before this hire happened, had I been a defensive coordinator, because I'm a defensive kind of coach, right, I would have been very interested in defensive coordinator in Washington. When I look at this, the first thing I look at is, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know if I would want to be the defensive coordinator there. So my thing is they might be hard pressed to find a good defensive coordinator like a Raheem Morris to come to this team because they're going to be like, wait a minute, like, oh, man, you're going to overtax my defense and you're going to make me look bad.
I have to say this weekend, me and Mike just finished the Commander season, this year's season on Madden. And guess what we did? We went 13-4 and won the Super Bowl.
So look,
Ben Sinnott got put out for the season. And I don't know how to play. He used the DC, the defensive coordinator, and the computer screwed up the entire defense in the secondary. We closed out the Eagles. Somehow, we put up 60. Who do we play in the Super Bowl?
We played the Patriots.
And we put up 60 points.
Hey, now, I'm going to tell you right now.
It was doable.
No, not with this old team, man.
It was doable.
No, man, you bet some video games on real like this.
He became the rookie of the year or whatever. He was amazing.
No, not with this old team, man. Like you basing video games off of real life. This team was old, injured, and trash.
Based off stats. It's called coaching.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We have
none, and we went worse.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now. Who we need to bring in here for the defensive coordinator position is Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon should be having constant communication with Jonathan Gannon right now. Bringing him in.
I think we got to let the dust settle because when you have a good 7 head coaches jobs that are out there, the good ones have their resumes in.
Yep.
Right? Good offensive coordinators that are out there have the resumes in for the head coaching job.
Yep.
It's about an 8x when you talk about salaries. It's the difference between making about $1 million a year or making $8 million a year.
That's right.
Right. Or 1.5 million versus 8.5 million. Right. So like these guys have the resumes in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the good coordinators are not going to agree to a job until the head coaching jobs are filled. Right now, they want to interview for them. So like this was so premature of a decision, but it's done.
It's done.
Yeah, Coach.
So now we're looking at defense.
Why do we pull the trigger so early? The
playoffs even over. Like, let's not get hung up on that. Please, let's just not get hung up on that because, like, there was no excuse to pull a trigger early other than fear of missing out that the Lions would steal him, right?
Yep.
But we got to move on. He's our guy now.
And now,
so now we have to find a way to attract a defensive coordinator in here, and we can't panic like what we did with David Blough.
That's right.
We have to take our time and find a defensive coordinator in there, and this needs to take a couple of weeks. And we need to interview some quality guys because we need at least one good coordinator on this team.
Yep. Coach, your point is correct. What good defensive coordinator wants to come to the team now? Because we're not going to have an offense. Any decent DC is going to look at our team and go,
I'm going to tell you who we're going to get stuck with. We're going to get
stuck
with
this and say, no way.
Look, Coach, hear me clearly, right? I'm going to tell you, going on the trajectory of this team right here, going on the Dan Quinn's philosophy, Dan Quinn's coaching abilities, we're going to get stuck with somebody like Eberflus. Watch what I tell you. We're going to get stuck with somebody like Eberflus.
Or we could just promote in-house and just take Daryl Tapp and make him the freaking defensive coordinator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Based on what you're saying, and I totally trust what you're saying, Coach.
But here's the other problem that we have besides attracting a defensive coordinator. And that is, we're going to have a lot of salary cap space, but how are we going to attract players with our coordinators?
You beat me to that. Hey, I was gonna bring that up later on in the show. Like with what we have going on right now with garbage Dan Quinn, Adam Peters don't got no control over this roster. We don't know what kind of offense we're gonna get with say no to Blough. We don't have a defensive coordinator. This franchise is completely unsteady, unraveling, and, you know what I'm saying, and not ready to compete. What kind of players? They only come here for the check, and we've been going through this for year after year after year.
Yeah.
Players coming here for the check.
Coming in for the check just because we outbid everybody else. Like they're not trying, right?
They ain't even trying. Yeah,
they're here like, hey, I'm here to because this is my retirement program.
That's right.
Right. And I'm tired. I've lived through decades, as you guys have, with this team being the retirement facility for everybody else.
Bruce Smith, Dan Wilson, Deion Sanders. Like all these people come at the end, past their prime, and all
past their prime.
Donovan McNabb, Mark Brunell, and the list goes on. The list goes on and on.
And I think we've done it recently. Von Miller, we've done it with that. Like, come on, like we've got to get out of being the NFL's retirement home. Yep. And we gotta start finding some youth and building an actual program. And if you don't have coaching staffs that people want to play for, like I will tell you, I think Dan Quinn hurt his image this year.
He did.
Because Dan Quinn a year ago had people like Bobby Wagner and other people around the league that were like, "Oh, I want to go play for Dan because Dan's my man." You know, I don't think a lot of players this year are going to be saying that.
No, hey, we're going to see a high rate of retirement this year for sure. We're going to see people on these 1-year deals. People just going to elect not to come back, right?
Yeah, so
they're not going to come back. We're going to have to completely
get hurt.
That's right. We're going to have to completely rebuild this roster. Two, Laramie Tunsil, he wants restructure his contract. He wants more money. So they're thinking Marshawn Lattimore, we did the right thing cutting him.
He's going to ask for a lot more money now.
That's right. We did a good thing letting Marshawn Lattimore go. But like you said, Dan Quinn hurt the image of this team. He really, really did. And I'm telling you, players are not going to want to come here and play. We look too unsettled. We don't have anything going on. We look too unstable to be a winning franchise at this point. And it's like, no, bring in Jonathan Gannon, let him run the defense. Dan Quinn, you just shut up and keep making them stupid calls so we can get you up out of here by the first couple games next week. You know what I'm saying? And then if the Steelers lose tonight, Mike Tomlin is gone. So that's another person we need to be keeping an eye
on. Maybe.
If I said this a couple weeks ago, when Harbaugh lost, didn't make the playoffs, I said he gone. If Mike Tomlin loses tonight, they don't make a deep push into the playoffs, Mike Tomlin is gone in Pittsburgh.
Maybe, yeah.
He will be.
I'm not going to say that about Mike Tomlin.
I'm agree. I'm going to put it at 50-50. There's a good chance.
Well, I'm going to be on the other side of the fence. You know, I'll let Lars Sarge ride the fence. You say that he's gone. I'm going to say he stays, and we'll let Lars Sarge ride the fence.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why I don't think it'll necessarily be the case for Mike Rooney is because of Rooney.
The Rooney rule, yeah.
They love
not just the Rooney rule, but I'm just talking about the ownership, right?
Yeah.
They love Tomlin
because what happened? What's the deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers is this: like they are the one franchise that is loyal to their head coaches.
Oh my God!
Like I will tell you, Bill Cowher was never going to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Like they were committed to him, and they're like, this is your job until you don't want it no more. And then Bill Cowher said, I want to step away from football. I need a break. I want to go. And they hired Mike Tomlin. And you know what they told Mike Tomlin? We did a lot of homework on you, and you probably are going to be our head coach forever. That dude's been there forever.
Longest thing you coach.
18 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so
I mean,
They-
he just
it's just
get the dance done in the playoffs, but I mean, they get to the playoffs every freaking year.
He
But
never
it's
had
not
he never
just
had a
that.
losing season. Yeah,
But
he
it's
never had a
not
losing
just
season.
that. But it's not just that. It's just the culture of Pittsburgh and that
Yeah.
the way that organization runs.
That's why I
Like,
like him.
I heard the owner one time in an interview because they interviewed him about this very topic. He goes, I see other owners around the league and general managers around the league make emotional decisions. He goes, this is my philosophy when it comes behind a head coach. And man, believe me, I had my ears all perked to the TV. I was glued to the TV when he said this. And he goes, what my experience when it comes to coaches is they don't forget how to coach from one night to the next.
Right.
He goes, sometimes the players just aren't there, or things just don't bounce your way.
Yeah.
But my experience is, and you see it because you see coaches go on a carousel around the league, they don't forget how to coach.
No.
So he goes, so that has always been the Pittsburgh philosophy that if we truly believe in the hire that we have, we're going to stick with them forever. So I don't think any coach in the Pittsburgh Steelers is ever on the hot seat because history shows they never are.
Yeah.
They're the one team that is probably hot seat proof.
For 4 decades.
If Mike Tomlin leaves the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's because Mike Tomlin wants to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We were just going to agree to disagree on this because I feel like if they don't make a deep dive in the playoffs, I think I agree with what you're saying about the movies.
Playoffs, though. Come on, man.
I mean, they're in, got it. But how many years are they going to go? They're going to go not make a deep run into the playoffs. If they lose this game tonight to the Houston Texans, I'm telling you, Mike Tomlin's job is on the line.
Man, they made a desperate move in the offseason.
Bringing in Rodgers.
The freaking shroom, freaking smoking freaking dude to come in and actually save the franchise, and he still got them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
That says something.
Oh, my God. We'll watch the game here. It's getting ready to come on. So let's get on with the show.
So another thing I want to say, because I know Jack will probably watch the show later on. He was supposed to be on tonight, but he has the flu. Jack, we love you, man. We hope you get well soon. And get on back on out here. We'll bring you on another week.
Send you healing energy.
Yep.
That's
Good
it.
Energy. Good energy.
Little football psych will get in your head, man. You ain't sick.
Yeah.
All right, you shake that off. I also, because of that, I had all kinds of slides in the slide deck where we were going to break down college prospects. But if it's all right with the team, I kind of want to push that off until we get Jack on here. We got plenty of time to talk about draft picks all over the place and talk about the top 5 prospects at every position. I will say this, though. We had the number 7 pick. By me evaluating the edge rushers, I think we have about 4 or 5 edge rushers that are first-round picks that can go anywhere from the top 4 all the way down to number 32 in the first round. So if we trade back or we move around and we do get all kinds of fancy, there's still going to be an edge rusher there for us.
Yep.
Yes, Lord Sarge.
So in that interview with Peters, where he pretty much put Quinn in the hot seat and said, I don't own the coaching decisions, they asked him about the draft. And Peters' decision was, I own the draft. And I'm really happy with our position. And they said, well, what are you thinking? And he's like, I'm very comfortable with where we are. And I feel comfortable with taking a pick in the first round where we're at. And if I see and if I feel comfortable getting a player in the first round that we really want, I'll do that. But if it's more advantageous for us to trade back, I'm also very comfortable to do that. I was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So that pretty much tells me is what I kind of told you before, right? You can plan to trade back. You'll field phone calls. You put it out there that you're fielding phone calls.
Yeah,
but if you don't get any phone calls, guess what? You still got to pick somebody.
Yeah. Because look, I'm looking at the mock draft right now, and right now look like they have 3 edges just over going in the top 10.
That's right. I mean, there's 5 in the first round.
Yeah, 5 in the first round. Yep.
Like you can go back to 12, you can go back all the way to freaking 28, 29. Like you could trade back. So I did a mock draft, and I'm just going to share this with you real quick. I traded all the way out of the first round off of 3 different trades. So
All
I
the way
did a
out?
mock. So here's what happened. I went to there and then like I have it recorded. I could pull it up. But like the mock draft came and I'm just like allow trades to happen. And I'm sitting at the number 7 pick. And I can't remember who it was. They were like the 12th or 13th pick says, hey, I'll give you this and I'll give you like a 2nd and a 4th. And I'm just like, let's do it. Boom.
By the way, folks, I just want to let you know, Coach Man Mike is something of a, what's the right word? A savant. He's a savant at this trading crap. Like I've watched him do it in Madden, and it's no different really in Madden than it is in real life. Really, he is a true, like he's the trade whisperer. He pulls crap off that I'm sitting there and I do this.
So let me tell you what happened in this mock, because I think this is very entertaining, right? So like I got the 7th overall pick and I'm sitting back and I'm just like, okay, I know who I want. I think I want Bane if I end up picking at the 7th pick, right? So like I'm going and Bane goes number 4. And I'm like, dang it. All right, who's next on my board, right? And so I'm sitting here thinking about this and I'm just like, please somebody offer me a trade. And I get a trade and it was to move back to like the number 12 or number 13 position and pick up like a 2nd and a 4th. Accept that trade. So then what happens? Go ahead.
I'm saying that's what I've been. Remember, for these last couple of weeks, that's what I'm saying we need to do anyway.
Right? Yeah. We're all saying. Right? So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm like, that's easy for me. If you're gonna let me trade back like 5 or 10 slots and you let me pick up a 2nd and a 4th, I'm doing that, man. So like that was easy. I'm like, bang, make that trade. So then I'm thinking, I'm lining up like who I'm gonna take, and I'm just like at the 12th position. There's another edge rusher there. I think it's going to fall to me. I get to there, and my edge rusher falls to me. And I'm trying to remember his name. Like, I get all his details. I'll share them with you maybe next week.
Keldrick Falk? You're Keldrick Falk?
No, it wasn't him. It was, dang it. Who was it? I just don't have my notes in front of me.
The guy you wanted.
So it was the guy I wanted. So anyway, I'm sitting here looking at this, and it falls to me. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to pick up my guy at number 12. I'm happy because I got a trade. I traded back. I need a freaking edge rusher.
And you pick
up so like down. And so like I get to that thing, and somebody offers me another trade when I get at that pick, and I'm like, holy crap! And it's like to move back to like number 24, and they were giving me like a 2nd and a 3rd. I'm like, geez.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, all right, I take that.
Yeah.
So then I take that one. And now I'm waiting around for number 23. And I'm like, okay, there's still an edge rusher in the 1st round I can get. Yep. And I get to that thing, and they offer me a 1st rounder next year and a 2nd and 3rd this year. And I'm just like, I got to take it.
Wait a minute. You took the trade and didn't take an edge rusher for us in this year?
So what happened was I added 6 draft picks, got to the 2nd round, and took the first edge rusher that I could at the very first part of the 2nd round, because I had like the pick number 7 of the 2nd round. I took an edge rusher, but I added 6 picks to us, plus I added a 1st round pick to the next year's draft.
Was he a good guy? 2nd round?
And then I'm just like, and so I stopped the draft right there. And I'm over there. Yeah, I looked him up, like he was going to be fine. But I looked it up. I'm just like, I was laughing my butt off because I had picked up 6 picks that are in the 2nd and 3rd round.
Out of 1 7th round.
Out of 1 pick, I picked up 6 picks that were in the 2nd and 3rd round and a 1st round pick in the next year's draft.
Yeah.
All over that 1 pick.
And what was the position of next year's 1st round?
Well, you don't know because people have to play the games to find out.
Okay, yeah.
Now, so look, so in
what team was it with? What team was it with?
I can't remember.
Hey, look for the 2nd round. For the 2nd round, it's saying that the best edge available is going to be Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. That's a 2nd round pick. So the edge is going to be there.
The edge is going to be there. So anyway, I would just tell you real life is always different, right?
Yep.
But I just screwed around with 1 mock draft, and I was just shocked at what I was able to do with 1 pick. I've never even seen nothing like that before. But I was just so like to me, what I did with the number 1 pick in that mock draft was better than what I saw on draft day.
Yes. So I'm gonna tell you, based off of Redskin logic, Commanders logic, this was going to happen. They know we need it. They know we need a edge. Guess what's
So we're
going to
gonna
happen?
draft one.
We gonna no, we're not. We're gonna. This is Commanders logic. So what's going to happen is we're gonna keep that number 7 pick. We're not gonna draft back, and then we're gonna take Caleb Downs at safety.
Yep.
Watch.
Right. Yep.
Watch.
We're gonna take him down as safety. Yeah.
We're gonna
I
take
think you
Caleb
can
Downs as
say
safety.
him or that receiver. It's gonna be one or the other.
That's what I heard from Peters. That we're
Yes.
pretty much going to take our first round draft at number 7.
And we're gonna keep number 7. We're not gonna trade back, and then we're not even gonna address our need. We're going to bring in Caleb Downs, safety because he's arguably one of the best players in the draft, right? So if he's on the board at number 7, we're going to take him, and that's just basic Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, Redskin logic.
No.
We
Dan Quinn's in this. I think it is all Adam Peters.
Listen, we've been through this too many times, and I'm telling you this how it's gonna shake out. We probably don't even pick up defensive in this draft. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Come on.
You're probably right, Shaq.
Yeah. They're not gonna trade back. They're gonna keep that number 7, and then we're gonna and then if Caleb Downs is gone, we still ain't gonna pick an edge. We're gonna pick a receiver or we're gonna draft Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. Watch.
I don't see any scenario at all. I don't see a single scenario where we shouldn't trade back. I don't see a single scenario where we shouldn't.
Well, I will tell you the one scenario where we won't trade back is if we're on the clock and nobody wants to pick.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, there's one. Yeah, no one calls us.
So, like, no one calls us. That's where I always have to say you have to have a card ready.
Yeah,
right. So
no one calls us, but someone's going to call us.
And so then you have to determine, though, internally as a thing, because, like, I don't care how desperate you are to move back. If no one wants to trade up with you, you got to pick, right? So you better have something in mind, and you better have ran through like 100 mock drafts yourself, and whatever your top players are, you need to game plan. Well, what if all of them are already off the board? What if they go number 4, 5, and 6, and you're sitting there at number 7, and the top 3 players that you want at number 7 are not there? What do you do?
Yep. It would be so love if Arvell Reese fell to us, but that would be love because he's a flex player. He plays linebacker. You know what I'm saying? You can put him on the edge. You can put him, you know what I'm saying? He plays up and down. So Arvell Reese will be clutch.
We don't know what they're thinking over there in the head shed right now and what they need. But somebody over there has got to be saying we need an edge rush. God, please.
Yeah, like,
2 years. 2 years we've been begging. Somebody's got to say we need an edge rush.
Man, you got to get rid of all these old dudes, man. Von Miller got to go. Dorrance Armstrong got to go. I told y'all last year Khalil and Farrell were going to make the team. Dietrich Wise, all these old dudes got to go. I'm just saying.
Armstrong can stay. He's a good number 2. We need to bring someone over him as a rookie. Dorrance Armstrong can stay. We proved that this year on Madden. He can stay.
All right, guys, let's have fun. I want to share my screen with you. Hold on, because I want to have some fun here for a minute as we wrap up the show. All right? Tell me if y'all can see this screen.
I can. And I love your analysis. That guy's awesome. Why the hell didn't he get the job?
Hey, man. He going to get it somewhere else.
Pissed off now. I'm going to take off my hat.
Look, he's
going to
get it somewhere else.
Cane, actually.
He's going to get it somewhere else, and he's going to show out. Watch.
That'll be the ultimate insult if he gets a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's have fun, guys. This is Pro Football Focus mock draft. One round and one round only. Washington Commanders. We are going to enter the draft, and let's talk about what we might do, and let's see what we do. All right?
I need my bifocals.
Get your bifocals on for all everybody's on there. Put on the green screen. Put on your bifocals, everything. I got my glasses on, too, and I can't see anything. I'm getting too old, man. I don't know how Shaq has such great eyes.
Oh, man, you know, I eat my carrots and drink my beet juice.
Is that what it is? Beet juice and carrots? Is that what I'm going on?
Beet juice and carrots. You know what I'm
saying? This dude is not drinking no beet juice. I'm just going to go with bad eyesight, I guess. All right, anyway, we're going to enter that draft, and here we go. It's rocking. We got the number 7 overall pick. We're seeing my guy Baines already off the board. Fox already off the board. Oh, and here's what they're offering us. If we move back to the 19th pick, everybody can see the screen, right?
Yep.
if we move back to the 19th pick from number 7 back to 19, we can also pick up a 51st, which is a second round pick, and a 119, which I think is a 4th round pick, and also a second rounder in next year's draft.
That's a great.
Let's go ahead and take it. That's what Carolina.
Let's go ahead and take it.
Well, go ahead and
Man,
take it.
that is called developing draft capital, not only this year but next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could you not take a pick?
Is there any other offer?
There is. There appears to be one other offer.
Yeah.
The other offer is with Pittsburgh moving back to 21st for a 53, 76 and a second round next year. It looks like they're both comparable, but it looks like maybe the Carolina pick's better.
The Carolina's better.
Yeah, Carolina's better.
All right, let's accept it and let's move on. And we're going down the board and we're seeing what might be available. And we're getting down to the 19th overall pick. We're picking after the Vikings here. And here we are. Oh, my God. Pittsburgh wants to trade and move 2 spots back. And if we give them that 4th round pick that we got in the last trade and move back just 2 spots, we could pick up a second rounder next year.
Nah, I don't like that one.
Well, who's available? Who's available in the draft that we want? We need an edge, right? We're going for edge. So who's left on the
edge? If we were to look to see what's available edge-wise, because that's our top need, like the top player on the board right now is an offensive tackle. We got
TJ Parker. TJ Parker.
You got if I was to go down edge rusher,
TJ Parker. Or Cassius Howe.
Is he down there?
Yeah, they should still be on board. Or Keldrick Falk. Is Keldrick Falk gone?
Hold on. Let me go to offense. Let me go to defense. Let's go to edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, TJ Parker is listed number 3. I mean, he's available.
Yeah.
And Overton's available too.
Yeah.
So we trade back.
So we can trade back because we're only talking about trading back 2 spots.
Yep.
Yeah.
We trade back.
So if we go back to what those trade proposals are, right? If we go back to the trade proposals that we were there,
I mean, this is easy.
I don't want to propose a trade. I want to go back to the trades that they were offering.
MGM playing blackjack.
Trade offer. Here we go. So we can move back 2 spots with Pittsburgh and pick up a second rounder next year. Or we can move out of the first round and pick up a second and a third and also a third next year. Or we can move back just 1 spot with the Cowboys and pick up a second run next year.
I don't like none of those.
I like that one right there.
I actually think I like this one. If I can pick up an extra second round pick next year and all I got to do is move back 1 spot.
Yeah, I like that one.
But what are we giving? We giving up a 119, right?
Yeah, 119 is a 4th round pick, which was one that we gained when we did the last trade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
I like that one right there. That's a good trade.
What do y'all think? This one?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's just go back 1 spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And so now we're offered a trade by the Giants to get out of the first round for additional second and third round next year.
No.
Or we can go back 4 spots and we trade a 4th for a what is that? A third? Doesn't sound too good, but you're only going back 4 spots. Or you can go back 2 spots with a 4th, which is, I think, our original 4th, to get a second rounder next year.
No, I think we should go. We should draft where we at, because we already got enough. We already got enough picks in this draft. We already established draft capital for next year already, and we're doing something that we did not have. We're going into this draft with 5 or 6 picks. We've already increased the number of picks for this year's draft. That's what our goal was. Let's go ahead and take what we want in the first round.
Let's take our edge.
Yeah, let's take our edge.
Parker?
Yeah. Let's take our edge.
Parker?
Yep. TJ
All right,
Parker.
let's not Parker.
Yep. TJ Parker.
TJ Parker.
Which one's the better one, Parker or the other guy? Which one's better?
Parker's rated better than Overton.
No. Which one's better for us?
TJ Parker. If we can't get Bain or Keldrick Falk, TJ Parker.
Yeah.
So this is the results of our draft. We ended up in the first round with the 20th overall pick, picking up edge rusher TJ Parker, and in the process of doing that, we ended up picking 2 additional second-round picks in next year's draft, one from the Cardinals and one from the Cowboys. I think we all did. Football Psych did an absolutely amazing job in the first round of the NFL draft by picking up 2 draft picks for next year, second-round draft picks for next year, and walking away with this draft with an edge rusher.
We got a first-round
pick. What do y'all think?
We got a first-round pick, too.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We used our first-round pick on Parker.
No, we had one for next year, too. One of the first trades.
Yeah, we got a first-round pick.
No, it wasn't. It was a second-round pick.
Oh, was it?
This shows you what picks you gained.
Oh, okay.
So we kept trading back for the number 1 pick in the same draft in the round. That's why we were moving back.
All right. Yeah,
okay.
Still a great deal.
So, but
we got our edge, and we got 2 second-rounders next year. Perfect.
Yeah, to add
I
to
thought we got a 4th round this
year.
year. I thought we got something else for this year, too.
We traded it away.
We did. We actually got second, third rounds this year, but we only played the first round of this draft.
Yeah.
Right.
So we did pick up second and third rounders for this year. So we actually did amazing. But like if we would have continued all 7 rounds, we could have done all that. But for the interest of time, I only did this draft for the
just
first round.
related to the first round. We didn't get to see what we got. So we picked up second. Yeah. Hell yes.
Yeah.
That's a great deal. And we got the guy we wanted. Amazing.
Yep.
And we got the guy we wanted, and we increased draft capital.
Yep.
So the reason
You're
why I
way
wanted
too
to do
old,
that-
Coach.
Yeah, so the reason why I want to do that was because, first of all, it's a mock. It's similar to what other people would have to experience, right? And I had no idea when I started this thing how this draft was going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
But we put our heads together here on Football Psych, and I think for a first round we had an absolutely amazing draft. And we walked away with draft capital. We set ourselves up to in the second and third round of this year's draft to even pick up more picks. But we also locked in 2 additional picks. Like you think about it, next year we would have 3 second-round picks next year. That would be insane.
Insanity.
That's an A+ rating.
That's an A+ grade. It's an A+ grade. So like, when I look at this, sometimes I'm just like, how hard is it to be a general manager? Sometimes. I mean, obviously you want to do a lot of homework on these players and make sure you're not buying a lemon, right?
Yep.
But, just us screwing around, that took us, 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah, that's just going to the MGM casino and putting a $200 bet down. You can come out with that. That's not without any homework and 20 people making $1 million that you're paying for all the research on these players. Right?
Yeah, because I know you guys who are watching think otherwise, but none of us here make $20 million a year.
No.
We're not paid.
Yeah, well, though. So if you'd like to make donations to Football Psych, I mean, we can make that happen.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Paula says you're way too old, Coach.
Yeah,
but Paula, his brain isn't way too old. His brain, he's a savant. Paula, I'm telling you.
I'm like the mad scientist kind of dude. That's the reason why they call me Coach Mad Mike.
All right, everyone that's still on. We got 8 people on. I want to know. Put your vote in the block. Pittsburgh or the Texans? Who's winning tonight? It's the end of the wild card weekend. Who's your vote?
Oh, man, that's a tough one, man.
Or the Texans?
I'm going with the Texans. Texas defense too good. I'm going with the Texans.
I want Pittsburgh, but I'm going to have to agree with Shaq. I think the Texans take
the Texans got the best defensive backs in they got the best defensive backs in the NFL, man. Their secondary is great.
All right, Paula says the Trains. I don't know who the Trains are. Who are the Trains, Paula? Am I missing a reference? Am I too old? Who are the Trains, Paula?
Brain's too old, large SARS.
Shay says the Texans. Paula says the Texans. Okay. We got 2 votes, Texans. Who else is on?
Shaq said the Texans.
I'm going with the Texans. Yeah.
Texans, that's 3 for the Texans.
Yeah.
What are you going with, large SARS?
I said Texans. I don't want them, but I said that's 4 for Texans.
Yeah.
Texans.
I'm pulling for Pittsburgh, though.
I just don't think Aaron Rodgers got anything left in the tank.
You know what? I want to see Stroud do something,
Yeah. I don't think he got nothing left in the tank, man.
Autocorrect was getting her.
Yeah.
They autocorrect Texans for Trains?
Yeah.
Man, you might need to check your spelling, man, because that ain't nowhere close.
Oh, my God, Paula. Maybe you're getting old, but autocorrect for Trains.
I think your brain's getting old, girl.
Paula, you're funny.
Oh, my goodness. Jeff wants the Texans.
Jeff,
All right.
oh my God, everyone's saying Texans. So clearly on Football Psych tonight, it is definitely the Texans everyone thinks going to win this game. So Pittsburgh's the underdog. I don't know what Vegas is saying on the bet here, but I think, oh, it's a phone. Yeah, the phone always gets me that way too, man. I try to compliment people and I cuss them out by accident. on a text. I don't know.
What?
And I'm on the receiving ends of a lot of those texts.
Hey, Vegas is making Shay says Vegas is calling the Texans on the defense. Well, you know who's back with the Steelers. So, and he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Man, DK Metcalf didn't have a good season this year. It was a down year for him.
It was.
I'm going to tell you, the Steelers won the last 2 games without him. Now he's back. So they found a way to win without him. Now he's back. That's a dynamic offensive change. Let's see if Aaron's on his game. If Aaron's on his game, it's going to be crazy.
But you got to think about this. Again, he's the only threat they got in the receiver. And again, they're playing against the best secondary in the NFL, man.
I know.
So we're going to see.
We're going to last 2 games either, but they did.
Yeah.
Listen, it's playoff football, man.
It's playoff football.
So I love a story, right? I love a story. Aaron's a story, right? It goes to the Steelers. He's 40 years old. That's a story. I'd love to see that story, but the Texans are a story, right? They deserve. I'd love to see that story. I'm happy if either one win.
All I know is there's got to be an assistant defensive coach on the Texans somewhere that we can bring in as a DC.
Yeah.
Either team.
Yep.
Right?
I think we're gonna. I'm gonna call it right now, though. We're gonna hire our water boy.
Yep. In typical Redskin fashion.
It's typical Redskin because clearly he's the best option out there for what we're trying to run.
We're gonna have Bobby Boucher.
Quality H2O.
Yeah,
that's it.
H2O. High quality H2O. But Mama said.
Football's on the devil.
Football's on the devil.
Don't have obligado.
Oh, my goodness. Well, hey, baby, that's our show, guys. And this is Football Psych, man, and we are out of here.
Peace. Hell.